I'm back.
I was just telling the people, Evil Dead, I think to me has to be the most consistent horror franchise.
Yep.
There haven't been any bad. Actually, yesterday, I for the first time watched Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness.
Ooh, nice. What you think of
'Cause
those?
I like. I think Army of Darkness is probably my favorite.
Okay.
Because it almost kind of reminds me of the Predator movie that came out last year.
Oh,
Not Killer of Killers, but the other one.
the Badlands.
Yeah, where like that was a risk where there was just like, hey, it's gonna be a Predator movie, but PG-13. I'm like, what? Because it's like I thought Prey was really fucking good,
Yeah, it was. I love
and
Prey.
then Killer of Killers was really good,
Yeah, it
and then
was.
it's just like PG-13 Predator. It's like, what? Why are you doing this to me? And then you watch, you're like, oh, I was wrong. I was wrong about everything. I'm stupid. I should never talk ever again. Um, and so that's what it kind of reminded me of, where it's like we're gonna take this concept of Evil Dead, which is gross, violence, a horror concept, but we're gonna place it in medieval times and make it more of like an almost like an adventure, like an
Yep.
action adventure, and it worked.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. Bruce Campbell he's basically the movie.
Yeah.
um, I was hooked from the beginning because and I'm glad I watched Evil Dead 2 before this, because then I would have been like, wait, what's going on? Because I watched the first Evil Dead last year, and I mean, again, unpopular opinion, I thought it was just okay. I can see why people liked it. It just wasn't for me. I thought it was a little bit too slow. Two, I liked a little better because I thought there was more going on. And Army of Darkness to me is just like, this is a movie I think you can rewatch and never get bored because
Right.
it's exciting.
And it's
It's
just
fun.
completely different than
Oh yeah.
everything else.
Like I say this, like with a lot of horror franchises, they really benefit from doing anthologies, from each movie feeling different. Like obviously having the same concept where it's just like, Book of the Dead, Deadites. But it's just like everything else needs to look and feel and smell different. And that's what Evil Dead does. Like every interpretation, with the exception of maybe 1 and 2, which they're kind of the same movie, but not really. But they essentially kind of are the same movie, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Whereas, Army of Darkness is different. The Evil Dead reboot, remake, whatever.
I would consider it more of a remake than a reboot.
It takes the idea from the first 2 movies, but it's a little bit more serious and less, fun. If, whatever.
Oh.
And then Evil Dead Rise, which anyone that knows me knows that I love isolation horror. And they took that idea of like, hey, let's go into an apartment building. Like everything's going to be set in this apartment building. And specifically in this apartment, home. And we're going to talk about this family. And to me, I thought that and Army of Darkness, those are like neck and neck of like my favorite out of the series. Because you can always tell when people are just having fun. And like the Alyssa Sutherland, who played the main character, Ellie, which is my dog's name, Ellie, by the way. She can tell she was having fun, just being this really vile, awful person, where she's like, "Mommy's with the maggots now."
Yes.
Or just saying other things, and she did a great job. I really like that movie. And so now you have Evil Dead Burn, which you brought this up a few months back when we were on the old show. Or I guess it seems we're saying old show because it's like a few months ago, but like where we were talking about the trailer and you brought it up. We were like, hey, do you think that lady in the lake in the trailer is the same lady from Evil Dead Rise? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. And so when I watch, I'm like, oh, that's her.
Yep.
So spoiler, I mean, I don't think we'll go into in-depth discussion about this movie because it's not really a movie that you go into in-depth discussion about.
Right.
Because you can't just be like, and this person was killed, and this person was killed, and this person. said vile, awful things, and like you just kind of have to highlight the movie as a whole. But like,
Yep.
basically, the movie begins. I guess it begins taking off from how Evil Dead Rise began, which is on a lake.
Yep.
The same girl. If anyone saw Evil Dead Rise, it has that really like fucking badass opening.
It's probably one of the best openings of a movie in the past couple of years. Like that first 10, probably I'd say 10 minutes is just balls to the wall awesome.
But the beginning was actually, I guess, technically the ending of that movie, because everything that was happening in that movie took place hours, like a day prior.
Yep.
So the way that movie ended was showing the actual girl that was possessed. Because it's weird, because I'm like, how is it that you're in the same apartment building and you didn't hear what was going on?
Right.
So, but yeah, she's leaving and she gets infected by, the Deadites. And so Evil Dead Burn takes place pretty much after how that movie began, which is technically the ending. And so you just see these two guys fishing. That they're out there fishing, and it's such a great opening. Like they're fishing and it's raining while it's happening, and it's like the Deadites are just the most ignorant fucking assholes out there, because it's like, what do these dudes have to do with anything? Like, leave them alone, let them fish.
They're cocky demons. They don't give a shit.
Exactly. Like exactly. There was it that there's that meme of like, I think it was like Frankenstein or some monster going, fuck this and this and this. That's the Deadites. Fuck this and this and this. The Deadites are pretty much Rick James. Fuck your couch.
Right.
They got that fuck your couch energy. So as you can imagine, both guys, they get it. While they're going fishing, you see their fishing lures get dragged into the ocean, and then the hooks come back and they get the other guy. And poor guy, he gets fucked. Not in a good way. And then the other guy tries to pull him back in, but it's too late. And then you just see that great shot of the possessed girl coming out of the lake while it's raining. I'm like, that is so metal. I want to take that shot and make an album cover out of it. I don't know. I see some things in movies and I just hear metal music in my head. Like I just want to hear Pantera play.
There you
go. And so she fucks that guy. She like, I'll say this. I said in my review, one of the biggest stars in the movie was the cinematography. The director of the film, who let me pull him up so I can give him some credit, some good credit. His name is Sebastian Vanacek. I'm not familiar with his work, but he definitely has a future in cinematography. Like cinematography is definitely his game. And just that shot of the boat tipping over and then you as the audience are like going with it. Like, can you imagine seeing this in 4D?
Nope, I don't want to.
No, you don't. She just comes out of nowhere and she's like, hello, Joe.
I peed.
Exactly. And then, she literally like, I guess she like makes the water or the lake
boil.
And then he boils too. And then she just walks up and she's just like standing by the highway, like waiting for the perfect opportunity. And then like in Evil Dead Rise, we get something that happens prior, which is the main characters of the story, which is, let me make sure I have their names correct. You have Alice with her husband. Who is it? Eddie? Was it Eddie or Will?
Was it Will? Or is...
Hold on. Anyways, whatever. So her husband and then his brother, who was Hunter Doohan, which we recognize him from Wednesday, and he was also Muse in season 1 of Daredevil Born Again. And then his girlfriend, and it's his birthday, and they're at a club. Like it's a weird transition shot because it goes from that horror scene, all of a sudden a girl shaking her ass in the camera.
Right. At first I was like, did they mess up the movie? Like, is this like, it was just like, did did the reels get switched, or am I watching something else now?
Oh yeah, like it's weird because like before I went to the movie, the previous showing was letting out, and all of a sudden I just hear rap music playing. I'm like, am I at the wrong showing? Like, and then you get to the, you know, fast forward, you get to the credits, and it's like French rap,
Yeah.
which I'm like, that's new. Um, and so they're all having their discourse and you introduced to the characters. Come to find out, the main two characters, their relationship is not that great. It's
Nope.
very volatile. It's very toxic, and then you come to find out it's abusive. The husband is abusing the wife, and the family very much turns a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like, oh, he's a good boy. I kind of figured in the trailer whenever the mom was like, he was a good boy and he never did anything wrong to anyone. I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that he didn't. I'm gonna go and assume that he was a piece of shit. And sure enough, piece of shit. So they get into a fight, and then the husband's drunk, and so he drives off, and then go back to old girl waiting in the highway, and she sees him. And that's when she steps in front of him, and he's already drunk.
Yeah.
And so he crashes into her, and he's upside down, and you just see her head. And he's like, are you okay? And then she turns around and goes, pretty much just like, we found you. Lead us to your family.
Ah, yes.
And then, sets him on fire while the severed head's laughing like, ha!
Oh, that was such a great shot too, where she's talking and you just see the head tip back and you just see the neck breaking off from the rest of the body, and it's just brutal sounding. And I'm just like, it's like,
yeah, this movie was just like really well shot. A lot of the best stuff in the movie had nothing to do with the cast. I'll say that. It was the cinematography. It was the overall mood. The Deadites. The Deadites are the star of the film because they're fucking awful, vile beings, but they're just so entertaining. They're so goddamn entertaining. I did like the lead actress though. I thought she was good. So Suhelia Yakub. She played Alice. I thought she was the only character that had any common sense in the movie.
Yes.
Because there's a scene where she's reading from the Book of the Dead and she's getting to the last part and she goes,
I know.
Fuck this.
I know. I was sitting there. I was like, oh, don't. I was like, wait. I was like, oh no. Here, because they do again that shot of when he starts saying the word. Where you see that fast paced motion through the forest, through the property grounds. I'm like, oh no, shit's about to get a lot worse. And then she's just like, fuck this. Puts it away. I was like, woo.
But then you do find out what the meaning of what the Deadite was saying was like, lead us to your family. So the family, the movie opens with I guess it's like an old a recording of someone recording into the tape player,
which is a callback to the original Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm. And that was the grandfather of the family. He pretty much left his whole family because he became too obsessed with whatever these things were. And this family's already fucked.
Yeah.
Like this isn't even a thing of like the last family where it's like, oh, it's a single mother and her kids. They seem like nice people, and I feel bad that they're getting possessed. Whereas in this movie, it's like, these people are already fucked. These are not good people.
Nope.
The parents don't, like the dad already looks like he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like they show him at the funeral with the dog, and he just kind of looks over at Alice and just goes,
yeah. You knew immediately he was going to be an asshole.
It's like, I'm pretty sure you're a racist and an asshole. Or one of those two. The mom was kind of, she was the mom in these movies, but you can kind of tell something was up with her. The son, Joseph, was like, oh, he seems like a good dude. And then you find out, oh, you're a pussy. Like, you're a complete fucking pussy. Like, he leaves his girl there to get killed. And I'm like, I feel no sympathy for you, dude. Fuck you. Like, no. Just the whole family, they're enablers. Like, they're like Alice is like, I don't know why I'm coming to this to this house. Nobody likes me. And they're like, no, you should come. You should come anyway. You're his husband. And it's like, but your dad doesn't even like me. It's like doing that. And then you see the dog, and you're like, oh.
I know.
Which we'll get to that. This movie, this movie's mean. Like the last movie, yeah, that movie was mean. This movie is like, hold my beer. We're gonna make everyone mean. Like, let me paint the picture of my theater. I was sitting at the top, and there was an entire row of people next to me because there's apparently a film society in San Antonio, which I didn't know about. And they're all sitting on the row next to me to my left, and I was just sitting to the right. And everybody was reacting to everything. And I had already heard in advance that there's a scene with a dog. And I'm like, okay, let me brace myself. At least you told me. And so let me kind of ask you this. Did you get the impression that the director played Resident Evil 7?
Okay, now that you mention it, I was like, okay, I can see it.
Yeah, because like we get to the dinner table scene, and it's like, oh, that's Jack Baker, and that's the rest of his family. So I'm like, I got Resident Evil 7 vibes from here. So it's like, good for you, director. The dad's already possessed because he got possessed at the funeral home because he wanted to see his son for the last time. Again, one of my biggest complaints is like characters doing stupid things,
Right.
like really stupid things,
and seem to being okay with doing stupid things too.
Yeah, like he hears somebody knocking in the casket. I'm like, if I hear somebody knocking in the casket, I'm running away. I don't give a fuck. I'm getting the fuck out of there. But he's like, let me help you, son. Like he's breaking the thing apart, and then like the thing comes out and just marks the funeral dude, and then marks him, and he's just watching like. And so he's already possessed, and then they get back to the house, and then they get to dinner, and of course it's Evil Dead. They got to be gross. A lot of drooling in this movie.
Yeah,
a lot of drooling. It's the grossest Evil Dead movie. I'll say that.
Yeah, uncomfortable, gross.
Like the very next day, I had mashed potatoes for lunch.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta get these. And they were good, by the way. But no, they're having the dinner table scene. It's just very intense, and the whole time I'm like, and the fucking dog, like, okay, I'm gonna give an unpopular opinion. The dog could have went to literally anybody else at the table.
Yeah.
Like the whole time the dog's trying to be like the one who's like, hey man, you good? You good? You good? And he's like shoving him away. And the dog's still there. And granted, I know dogs are loyal, but like, shouldn't a dog sense something about his owner that's not right?
That's what I'm going to bring up. Like in previous movies, like if somebody is getting possessed or in the process of getting possessed or isn't their normal self, usually it's the dog warning everybody by whimpering, backing away, going, this person's fucked up. This isn't the person that I know. We've seen that trope in so many movies where the animal's giving off, whether it's the cat going because the person's not right, or the dog whimpering or barking at the person because there's an imminent threat. This dog is like, he's not right, but I still need the cuddles.
It's like, I hate to say this, but the dog had it coming.
Oh God, and he did.
Yeah,
I closed my eyes around that part.
I didn't, because I'm like, okay, I gotta be prepared for this. And then when it happened, the whole row of people went, no. And I'm like, And so of course when I got home, I had to hug my dog. I'm like, oh, I love you. And she was like, the fuck? Like, okay. But and then that happened. And so that's when the rest of the movie happens.
Yeah, and that's where shit escalates tenfold.
Bea, like, we get into the car scene where they're taking the dad to the hospital, and then he just goes apeshit bananas and starts trying to murk everyone in the car. Like he obviously kills the girl who has the deal through her head, and the son being a complete wet flopping pussy, running away, and whatchamacallit, Alice, you know, she, like I said, she was about to finish the Book of the Dead, and she's like, no, fuck this. But the dog still bursts through the window and tries to kill her, and then she, I guess, stops him.
Or with the tears.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like how the movie was like, okay, we already showed the dog getting stabbed. We're not going to show it anymore. We're just going to cut away. We don't care if
Right.
it's a demon dog. It's like you get one dog kill throughout this movie.
Yep.
And so we get to what we saw in the trailer, which was that good one shot of like the mom coming in like, Alice, what's wrong? And she's like, and then it cuts to what's his name coming back in.
Joseph.
And he's like he has tears in his eyes, and you just hear, and it's the girl, and it's the shot of like her feet coming in, and everyone's like, and she has the headrest through her face, and she takes it out, and then she drinks the wax out of the burning candle, and it
doesn't stop.
It becomes an action movie pretty much because it like shows that amazing overhead shot, that overhead one shot of her just beating the shit out of everybody, everyone trying to hold her off. I'm like, this is like John Wick. It's like John Wick meets Deadites. Matter of fact, it's almost like the movie we saw, Furious, as well. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if the director had saw inspiration from like action, like Hong Kong action films. Is like I want to use that in this movie.
Yep.
And it worked. Like it was like that and like watching wrestling almost. Like I want somebody to take a snippet of the action scenes of this movie and play the 90s Raw is War thing.
Yes.
It's my life in the box. That'd be awesome. So they throw her ass in the basement and like the grandma who has dementia, she was funny. She was funny.
Those are the moments. It was like, all right, this is a callback to this is some Sam Raimi influence right here. When it came to the grandma, I was like the little bit of awkward comedy moments. I was like, okay, this is their sprinkle of Sam Raimi humor.
Right, and you know, like Sam Raimi, he's a EP on a lot of these movies, and also Bruce Campbell. I appreciated how the directors for these past two movies, it didn't feel like they were trying to look to the camera and go, "What you think about that, Sam?" Like they were trying to be more inspired and make their own film, which is I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi tells them that, where he's like, just make your own film. Like don't try to. It's the opposite of Alien, where like every Alien film feels like it's Ridley Scott going, hold up, let me add this in here. You know, Sam Raimi, he allows the directors to have their own vision, which I appreciate that. Yeah, just the rest of the movie is just what you think it is. It's nonstop action. It's fucking gross out humor. Not humor. It's just gross fucking scenes. It's probably the most brutal of the whole franchise. It's the most brutal and most grossest.
Yeah, I will say it's the grossest gore out of the last three, because 2013 was pretty goddamn violent. Rise was pretty goddamn violent. A lot of blood. Actually, I think they set a record for how much blood they used, or fake blood, in Rise. But this had the most gross, uncomfortable gore.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, oh, God.
And it's like, yeah, we have the heroine, but we're going to beat the fucking shit out of her in this movie. Like, we're going to make sure she's walking out limping and just covered in blood. Like, she gets stabbed in the ear.
Oh, God, yeah.
She gets stabbed. She gets, like, what do you call it? She gets stabbed right through her ankle. And, yeah, it's just like, it's uncomfortable, and that's the point. We're going to make this shit uncomfortable. Like, we're not going to be nice about it. Like, this is Evil Dead. This is, you knew what you're paying your money for. And then, yeah, it's just, everybody gets it. Everybody fucking gets it. Like, and of course, we get to that wonderful one shot that we saw in the teaser where she's crawling and you just see everything behind her, like, just going to shit. And, you know, finally we get to the ending where she, the whole point of it was that the Deadites were looking for something. It was like a dagger.
A dagger. Because the dagger all it takes is one stab and they're dead.
It's like in Supernatural, you have the angel sword.
Yep. Oh my God, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, the mark of Cain.
Yes. But yeah, it was a pretty small sword, but it's not the size that counts.
Nope.
Which is what I tell myself. But yeah, she uses the sword and they had the big climactic fight with the giant CGI, or not
That
giant CGI, but like the CGI burn guy.
that threw me off. That's one part I didn't like. I mean, I get
Yeah,
why they probably did. I was like, I wish they just would have used practical effects. I
yeah,
think that
same.
because to me, it just like I was like, it looked too much like a Terminator walking out of the fire. And that was the first thought. I was like, oh, is this like a Terminator type Deadite? We're just walking out of the fire here.
It's one of my biggest complaints about the old Evil Dead films, which granted I know they're made in the 80s and that was the thing of the times, but it's like you could have brushed those up a little bit. Especially in Evil Dead 2 when we get to the end and you see like the demons and they're like doing that. I'm like, it's kind of goofy. And going to what you just said, they really could have just relied on practical effects.
Yeah, they could have used really like. I mean, he was a burn victim. They could have made his like flesh just peeling off the bone. I mean, and they could have maybe throw in a little bit of CGI, like take it back to when the dad shows back up as a Deadeye and he does those horrible. He's like, huh, I'm gonna do Deer Hunter on myself a few times.
Yeah,
Oh
so like I didn't like that personally. I mean, I I did have complaints. I didn't really resonate with the characters too much, kind of like I did in the last movie.
yeah,
I did like the lead actress was good. I mean, she
yeah.
wasn't great, but she was good.
Well, majority of the characters didn't have any redeeming qualities. That was the issue. I mean,
Yeah,
Dad was an asshole. The mom was an um, overbearing. I guess you want to say religious too. I mean, she had very conservative views. Um, Definitely an overbearing mom. You you had the
abusive husband.
Alzheimer. What's that?
The abusive husband.
The abusive husband, which you weren't gonna like him from the beginning, anyways. The only one who had redeemable qualities was the main lead there, the female protagonist. Um, and
Yeah.
then Joseph's girlfriend, you really didn't get much of a backstory on her, so you really didn't care much about her, and she became more interesting as a Deadite.
She was good, but like you said, we didn't get enough time with her.
Yeah,
Um, and it's just like it's hard for me to like someone when they're just not redeemable, like when they're just not good people.
yeah,
Um, and also the movie was just gross. Like I know I laughed about it being gross, but then there was a point where it's just like this is a bridge too far.
yeah,
It almost felt like the characters were winking at the camera, going, "This is gross, right?"
yeah, yeah. When the part with, and this bothered me too, I'm just like, okay, you're this overprotective religious mom, but yet you see your dead husband and you're gonna let him in, then have a makeout session. I was like, oh, good
Yeah, like
gravy.
how are you not seeing this shit? Like whenever the grandma all of a sudden she stands up and she's like rising. It's like, how do you see that and not go, fuck, like run out?
Run.
You're like, mom, mom, and she hugs her, and then she sees, like you said, her dead husband on the balcony and she just makes out with him. And that's
That
kind
was
of another
gross.
thing, is like I thought they were kind of playing a little fast and loose with the Deadite rules, where it's like,
Yeah,
so I don't get the rules of this. I usually don't get sucked up into that, but in this case, I'm like, it almost seems like you're making this shit up
well,
as you go.
I realized how, because the thing, like, you can mark, like a deadite can mark you if they scratch you, cut into you. And so when the girlfriend takes the, which is another gross part, and again, spoilers, people, sorry in advance, but takes the teeth out of the grandma and then just, ugh, it makes me just want to gag. Sticks it in her mouth and just starts sucking on it. And then she puts it right back in the grandma's mouth. Like, this will fix you. So I think they're loosely playing with the fact, like, you know, whether it's their blood, their saliva, is like when the father has a makeout session with the mom. My first meaning thought, because we already seen the grandma get her now tainted teeth put back in her mouth. I was like, oh, the mom's going to turn now because she just made out with a Deadite.
I mean, it took her a while, but
Yeah.
then you like when she's leaning on the radiator, and
Yeah.
she's just like talking. She's like, "You're a bloody, you're a whore, and I hate you."
And that's one part. Like, the main lead there, she looks back and says, "Fuck your family."
Exactly. Like, she's talking shit the whole time. She's like, "Oh, shut the fuck up. Your son abused me. He did this to me." He's like, "It was an accident." It's like, "No, it wasn't. You guys knew it wasn't a fucking accident. Fuck you. Fuck your family." I'm like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the movie ends. Movie ends where it's just like she got the shit beat out of her, but she gets saved. And then you get to a post-credit scene. Or no, a mid-credit scene where you see the grandma who somehow got out and she's crawling. Again, just stupid people where it's like if I see somebody crawling on the ground with no legs, I'm
massive amounts of blood.
I'm driving past it where she's like, "Oh, thank you, young lady. You have nice legs, which will come in handy."
And then she marks her.
Or it's like what is it like the three little bears? "Oh, what nice little legs you have to eat with, my dear," or to eat, my dear. So we get that, and then we get a post-credit scene,
which I like.
Which spoilers.
Spoiler. If
you don't want to get spoiled, walk away. If you don't care, stay in anyway. If you saw it, stay in. We get to the post-credit scene where it's back at the funeral home, and it's the lady working there with her kid, and she's like, "Oh, I gotta do something. I'll be right back." And then the little girl, she sees one of the urns, and it says the name of the lady from the last movie, Ellie. And so she shakes it, which I'm like, "Why are you shaking that?" And all of a sudden he's here, "Hello." And she's like, "What the hell is going on?" And then she looks into the mirror and it's Ellie, in, I guess, her normal form. And she just does this. And the lights go out and she's like, "What the fuck happened?" All of a sudden you see possessed Ellie and she just like rips her throat out pretty much.
I was like, "Oh shit."
This movie's like, you like dogs? You like kids? I mean, you shouldn't like kids, but do you feel bad about kids getting hurt? Well, fuck you.
Save the best for last.
Fuck you and your feelings. And then she pretty much goes, "Mama's home." She does the butcher thing, "Daddy's home."
Yes.
So it's "Mama's home." And that was a good post-credit scene. That was awesome.
Yes. Which I saw mixed reviews on that. So I actually did a deep dive because people, either loved it but there's people that are complaining about like, "Okay, you're messing with the lore. Why are you bringing these Deadites back that, once they're gone, they're supposed to be gone?" But according to lore, if there's remnants of them left, like ashes, the Deadite can still come back because the Deadite was just taking over the physical form. So if the remnants like ashes are still there, they can still come back and still project the last physical body that they possessed. So I was like, okay, that makes sense.
You got to cut them down to the last atom.
Yes.
Matter of fact, make sure there's no atoms. Get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
This isn't like Supernatural where you can just burn the bones and that's it. Like you got to burn everything.
Yep.
But that was Evil Dead Burn, people. I gave it a C+. I still had fun.
Yeah.
If you're an Evil Dead fan, I would say go watch it. If I had to, I would say it's maybe in the lower bottom tier of the franchise. Still a good movie, still fun.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. I don't think there's been any bad movies in this franchise.
Yeah.
But it's not a movie I would imagine myself rewatching.
Yeah, I would say I would rewatch it if I knew I was going to do an Evil Dead night. Like if I knew it was like, hey, I'm going to watch the 2013, I'm going to watch Rise, I'm going to watch this, I'm going to watch Wrath, which Wrath comes out in a couple years, which is going to be a prequel to the OG. But yeah, I would give this solid C+, probably 7.5, close to an 8. It's just one, stupid people making stupid decisions. That always throws me off in a movie. Again, like you said, when the dad hears the knocking in the coffin, I'm like, your ass should be running the other way. the mom opening the door and having a makeout session.
People leaving each other in rooms by themselves.
Exactly. And that's the thing that I was like, that house is big, but it's not that big where the grandma is sitting there hearing the knocking on the door. And I'm just like, okay, where is everybody like in the backyard? I'm like, are they that much out of earshot that they can't hear what's going on?
Pretty much.
Did you bring back what you stole me? I was like, that came a running.
She stole my money. It's like she was good. But yeah, that's our Evil Dead talk.